1575.
Well, we promised you a lot more information, and we are going to deliver. I've got Paul Avram from Workplace Solutions, part of the Tandem HR family of companies. Paul, welcome to the program.
Why, thank you, Shalom.
So, Paul, you are an expert on a lot of things employer and employees. So, I got a lot of questions for you, Paul.
Sure.
What kind of services does an EAP, and if you don't mind explaining what an EAP is, provide for employees, much like many of our listeners?
Okay. What an employee assistance program, we provide a number of services for both the employer and the employees. When people think of employee assistance programs, they typically think, well, these are the type of things, type of services where somebody, maybe they're in trouble or maybe they need to get some help. And yeah, we do handle some of those serious problems, but the majority of what we do is we do a lot of counseling for employees, and we do a lot of counseling for the employers as well. And what we do is we do counseling, and the majority of it is going to be everyday stress and anxiety. It's going to be relationship type problems. We do handle some of those more serious problems, some of the more serious mental health type of problems for employees. But the overwhelming majority is the day-to-day, everyday stress and anxiety. We also do a lot of what we call work-life legal financial services, trying to find resources and things for the employees to help not only just with their mental health issues or their mental health needs, but also those everyday things like, maybe they need to find a babysitter, or maybe they need to find a daycare provider, elder care services for mom or dad, any number of things. Anything that we can do to help take some of that everyday stress off of the employee.
That's a lot of services. So what do you find most employees are taking advantage of and which not so much?
Well, first of all, I would say definitely the counseling. We get the majority of people are calling for our counseling services. Again, maybe it's a problem they had with a loved one or something along those lines. The other thing we see a lot of is legal services, because we do provide referrals for our attorneys to do free consultations with our employees, with the employees. And so it's those situations where maybe you just have one or two questions and you don't want to spend a lot of money on an attorney. I can get those questions answered, and I can get those questions answered for free. And it's amazing how some of those little questions that just kind of get to the employees, how much it can stress out.
We're talking with Paul Avram of Workplace Solutions, part of the Tandem HR family of companies, and we're talking about employee assistance programs and a lot of resources. But all those resources, it's great for employees. How is this benefiting managers and the employers?
Well, when you think about it, when it comes down to, and I heard you speaking earlier about healthcare costs, you think it impacts it directly in terms of healthcare costs, because the more that employees use the employee assistance program, the less medical claims that you're making, the less mental health claims that you're making on your insurance. But not only that, when it comes to stress and anxiety that you feel, the more stressed out that we feel, the more susceptible we are to illness or disease, and the more time we're taking off, and the more days, even when we are there, we're not entirely there as employees. So when it comes to employers to making their life a little bit easier, the more an employee is there actually physically at the job, the more they can focus on what they need to do, and the less time employers and supervisors and managers have less time they have to spend to filling in for them, because that work doesn't go away.
Do you think it's fair to say that the EAP programs are helping to make managers and employers' responsibilities and their role more productive?
Absolutely more productive. Because when you're as a manager, when you're having to worry about performance issues with your staff, whether they're at work or they're not at work, or they're being distracted while they're at work, the more that they're distracted, the more, again, that work does not go away. The more that you have to jump in as a manager, or maybe get other team members to do that, and the more you're jumping in for somebody else, the less time you have to spend on doing your own work, and the less productive you are.
So EAP programs are productive and useful for both employers and employees. That's what we're hearing from Paul Avram of Workplace Solutions. Paul, is the EAP program, is that something that that only massive companies can implement, or is this something that some version of it can be implemented in small businesses as well?
Oh, we have very large corporations. We have very small ones. We have corporations. I have clients that only have 5, 6, 7 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So Workplace Solutions, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for about 2 years now.
Fantastic. So sticking to that theme of trying to make it a less stressful work environment, talking about getting rid of stress, it is the summer. Paul, do you have any summer plans? Where's your favorite place to vacation?
My favorite place to vacation is Disney World. We're taking we're going down as a family in September, and we're going to take our goddaughter there for the very first time.
Fantastic. And because you practice what you preach, you're probably taking all of your employee clients with you so they can reduce some stress. And I'm thrilled to report over here on Get Down to Business that Get Down to Business will be going on the road. We're joining Paul at Disney World. No, I hope your wife isn't listening, because she's probably scared that your family vacation has just gone rogue. So once again, we're talking with Paul Avram of Workplace Solutions. Great advice on EAP programs that it sounds like are really realistic and practical for small businesses, for big businesses, productive for employers, managers, and employees. Really fantastic. We've got about 30 seconds remaining, Paul. How can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about implementing this in their business?
They can get a hold of us at Workplace Solutions at 1-800-327-5071, or they can reach us on the internet at www.seap.com.
seap.com. Fantastic resources, fantastic advice for our small business listeners. We'll be sure to have you back on to continue that conversation. As promised, after the break, I'm going to be talking about business development. I've got some tips, advice, and information for you. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We're powered by Tandem HR. Don't touch that dial.
Hi there.